Welcome to Golden Goal. Yes, we are back. Now, I'm not going to be talking too much, you'll be glad to hear on the show. All will be explained right now. The reason we were away, because we were planning, we were plotting. Welcome to Golden Goal. Yes. Nothing like a good technical issue, eh? There we go. Right. Just to carry on, we were plotting. We were plotting how to not know how to use our own technology. We were plotting a brand new show. So, as you may be able to see from the title, the FPL show is returning. Now, don't worry, I didn't host that show beforehand. As much as I love fantasy football, I don't go too far into it. But I know people that do, and thankfully, these people have agreed to do the show. So, without any further ado, I'll disappear off into the background and be producing, so I'll pop in. But handing over to your host, good old Mr. George Sullivan, and our brand new contributor. Be nice, it's his first show. Over to you, chaps.
Cheers, Hubert. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Like Hubert said, we are back with the FPL show. We did it last year, but I didn't pay that much attention to it as I have now. But now I'm basically obsessed with it. But what we'll do, we'll talk about a few things first. But just want to introduce our new contributor and a good friend of mine, Matt. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. Yeah, good to be on. Looking forward to it. Yep, played FPL now this is my fourth season, and like you said, really starting to get obsessed with it. It's hard to put down.
I have to start calling you FPL Matt instead of FPL mate.
Yeah, can't take the credit for him. Yeah, shout out to FPL mate.
So yeah, thank you for coming on today, Matt. I went to call you mate then. But yeah, basically what we're going to do, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about all about our teams, differentials, people who are premiums, even people that are in the middle, and we will bring back the good old, as you'll be glad I know Hubert is, the in and bin. How that's not been taken up. How that's not been taken up on a Fantasy 606 or FPL pod, I don't know. But yeah, what we'll do, we'll start with top three players for this game week. So it's game week 9. Matt, please break in and if I get things wrong, just tell me because you know more than me as well. So yeah, we've got game week 9 coming up. I'll start top three players. It's an interesting one, this, because there's some decent games. Obviously we've got City against Brighton, got Liverpool, Everton. So if you've got Haaland and Salah, yeah, who'd you go for captain wise? I know who I've gone for, but I've changed it like 4 times in the last 24 hours.
Oh, George, you could give us a spoiler, mate. You're gonna let something out the bag.
Yeah, I might do. Well, we'll wait till I name my team, and then it might stay that's that. I'm gonna be like I was gonna say like the FPL pod, like just probably change it right at the last minute. But I am playing a goal ball tournament, and at like 10 o'clock, so I can't even look at my FPL Saturday morning. So everything's got to be done tonight or tomorrow. So and plus when you're doing lots of fantasy football as well, because I'm doing the women's stuff as well and trialing all that out, the accessibility on that is. I was so tired the other day. I was wondering why the hell why is Lauren James not in my team? And I realised I was on the wrong fantasy. So but yeah, what I'll do, I'll start with the expensive. We're going to go one expensive, one cheap, and one differential. So it's an interesting one. That my expensive one. This is not who I would go for, but I have to talk about them, and I feel like I'm going to be sick in my mouth when I say this already. I think the expensive one you're going to have to go for is probably Song. Oh, I feel sick even saying that. Just because everything he's delivering, isn't he? say cheap player I'd go for is probably I'd Matthias Jensen at Brentford. I think is a really interesting one. He's at 5 point. I think it's 5.3, 5.4. And the positions he gets in, he's always making those assists. Like, and he even scored against United, but that's not hard, is it? Let's be honest. But um, yeah, Matthias Jensen. And my differential is Gabby Martinelli. I just think like everyone's looking at Saka. Martinelli's back, got his goal against City. Got Hubert's boys at the weekend. Not really looking forward to that, to be honest. But yeah, if he can get back to what he was doing last season, what do you think about all that, Matt?
I think they're interesting picks, mate. Good shout. For me, I've got to go over Premium as the most expensive one. I think he is. It's going to be an obvious one for me as well. Everyone who knows me, massive Liverpool fan, so I've got to go Liverpool. I think the main man, Magic Mo Salah, got to go with him. I think he is 35% owned already. Be amazed if that doesn't go up to 40% by game week 9, by the deadline. I just think you can't go without him. I know it's like the opening game, 12:30 kickoff, but he's just returning every game at the moment. So got to go Mo Salah. In terms of cheap player, I think if you're going with a budget, it's got to be Cole Palmer at Chelsea. I know they've got difficult fixtures. Looks like he's on pens. 4.9. You just can't look past it, I don't think. And the cheap player, not cheap player, that was my cheap player, Cole Palmer. I think the differential has to be, I'll go Spurs one, mate, as well. It's got to be Pedro Porro. I think he's 11% owned, very attacking, and I think he's got a haul coming.
Yeah, I agree with that. I forgot about Palmer. I'm not going to lie. It's really annoying with Palmer because I had him in a draft, and then I was like, oh, yeah, do I want him? And Chelsea's fixtures are going to change, aren't they? And then like a couple of game weeks later, a couple of game weeks before I got rid of him. I don't remember who I bought in. That's how long ago it was. But I now got Anthony Gordon as a spoiler. But yeah,
that's when the Chelsea fixtures were so good, though, mate, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah, and then
he was looking like a double or triple up.
Yeah, I think I had Gusto, and Palmer. And sounds like a like joint in the like LA or something. Oh, Gusto and Palmer, but yeah, and then I got rid of him because I thought, oh no, it's going to drop in it. Then he went and scored. I thought, cheers. But I agree with Salah. I think now is the only time in the season. I don't know if you agree that he's actually been. You've got to have him. Like everyone's been, oh, you've got to have Haaland. If you said that, I know I'd listened to this on a pod earlier, but if you had to ask me, I agree with him. I'd go Salah over Haaland at the minute.
It's hard not to, though, because he's returning every game. He's looking dangerous. He's on pens. All right, fair enough. He doesn't always score the pens, and that's been doubtful. But he's, like I said, he's just so dangerous, and you just can't look past him. So his link-up play, he provides assists, he provides goals, and Liverpool's just a different beast with him up front.
Yeah, problem with me is I struggle. I have the same problem as Sam off the FPL pod. I don't like captaining on the half 12, so that's what I'm arguing with my head about at the minute.
Yeah, I'm with that one.
Cool. Hubert, do you have any comments or anything?
Let's take a look.
Probably not, but we'll just check.
No comments as of yet.
Quickly, Hubert, is there anyone that jumps out at you? Do you just want to mention quickly?
I think not having Haaland or not even captaining him actually is not that surprising. I've had a few people mention this when it comes to Haaland. You know, one thing I've heard about, and I have seen this, Haaland doesn't deliver in big games. Now, Man City have Brighton, so do you class that's a big game or not? I don't know, but few people aren't thinking of getting Haaland as a captain. So it's an interesting one. Cole Palmer, that's a good one, potentially. Whether he'll deliver just all depends. I'm not too hopeful in this weekend's fixture for us, but definitely not a clean sheet. There's not many of them going round. But I do really Pedro Porro. That's another one you mentioned. Again, a lot of people are getting him in slowly. Like I said, it could be either him or Udogi or whatever, however you pronounce him. I hope that's correct. Udogi or Udogi, and a lot of people are liking him, but a lot of people are bringing Pedro Porro also as another Spurs defender. So I think they are possibly a good option. I can't remember who Spurs have this weekend, but
Palace. No, not Palace. Fulham on Monday night.
If Fulham play the way they did against us and give goals away, I definitely think James Maddison is a good shout too.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I hate Spurs, not that I mention that often, but
you've kept it quiet so far. Carry on.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did really like you calling him dodgy. I thought that was brilliant. So I don't know if you've done that on purpose, but
Partly I did.
that was brilliant. I might actually have to send that to my Tottenham mate. He probably won't appreciate that, but so we'll move on to talking about our teams, like for game week 9. I haven't done actually any transfers, so I'm carrying 2 over. I'm waiting game week 10. There's someone I need. So I'm waiting for that. So I'll go through my team first. So I have got Matt Turner in goal, who's at home against Luton. So if he don't do nothing there, and then I have got Kieran Trippier, who's at home against Crystal Palace. Dan Burn, Matty Cash, who's at home against West Ham, and so I'm playing 3 at the back, and then my midfield is Mo Salah, Musa Diaby. Who else have I got? So, I don't know. I've completely gone blank. Who else? Salah, Diaby. Oh, Jared Bowen against Villa with James Ward-Prowse. So I'm hoping for a big win game there. And then I've got Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, and Ollie Watkins. And my bench at the minute is Areola, Gabriel, Anthony Gordon, and good old Charlie Taylor. Just because he's 3.9 and he's the best 3.9. But I think I might I'm tempted to take Ward-Prowse out and bring Gordon in at the minute. So yeah, that's what my team. What do you think of that, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's tasty. To be honest with you, you've got some attacking points there. You've got the bases all covered. You've got the cheap players as well as to enable more big hitters. Yeah. Apologies to anybody who could hear a landline ringing in the background. My end. Yeah, there's still one there. My team is I've got Allison in goal. I'm going for a 3-5-2. So I've got I've got a 4-4-2 this week. That was 3-5-2 the week before. I've got Pedro Porro. At the moment, Sven Botman, Matty Cash, and Destiny Udogie. I've got a midfield 4 of Mo Salah, Bukayo Saka, Musa Diaby, and Brian Mbeumo, with Erling Haaland and Ollie Watkins up front. And the spoiler is I'm going Haaland captain, purely because of the 12:30 kickoff. Got a bench of Alphonse Areola in goal. I have James Ward-Prowse. My transfer brought in this week ahead of time was Vladimir Sofel, purely because he got 2 assists building up to this week. Looking good. Wanted to get him before a price rise, which I think is coming. And Cameron Archer.
Yeah, sounds good. Saka's the interesting one for me. I've not heard anything from Mikel. Like I tell people, whatever Mikel says, do the opposite. Because That's what happened against City. I told people, they said, yeah. Mikel said he might be right. No, he's not playing. But yeah, that's interesting one with Sufal. I think like West Ham's fixtures turn after this one as well. So I think I might actually have to sacrifice one of my West Ham players next week. But it's what it is, really. There's not much we can do.
I was kind of thinking, mate, it was just like where West Ham's fixtures look good from game week 10. It was, right, okay, how can I get him in? But Ward-Prowse is the guy who's on free kicks, he's on corners, so he can always get a return, is my hoping on that one. So if he does end up coming for Saka.
Where my question is, it's either, I'll let you into a spoiler, it's either Bowen or Ward-Prowse for me. I don't feel like I can have both. Not for who I want to bring in. So it's whoever brings, who I think is going to bring more. Is Bowen going to get more because he scores more? Or like you say, is JWP going to get it because he sets up, like he has the more assist points? So that's just something I've got to think of.
I think the similar point can be made in terms of Spurs. You know, you're looking at James Maddison, he's more of a provider, so he's getting the assists, whereas Son is more of a finisher. So a similar point of Son and Bowen to, Maddison and JWP.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky I don't ever fall into that problem because I won't pick Spurs. I remember Hubert telling me the year when Harry Kane was smashing points galore, and I just wouldn't do it. I done it once. I picked Son once, and it was the game he got sent off.
I remember,
that was the only game I ever picked a Tottenham player for. Sometimes you just don't do things in life, and that was one of them. I'll let you into a spoiler as well. I am 90% going for Erling Haaland as captain, just because Brighton concede for fun. City are at home; they're going to want to bounce back. The only one I'm not so sure about is Alvarez, just because of how late they've travelled back. So, see if Guardiola says anything tomorrow. But it's good team, Matt. To be fair,
Sorry, I just think the important thing for City as well to kind of note is Rodri's back.
Yeah,
and he just makes them different. He makes them tick. So and Erling Haaland, he's gone, I think 2 game weeks without returning, maybe more. So he's got goals.
Cool. Hubert, what's your team?
Well, I've just been looking at it actually, and I have made one change for now, but I will take you through for the time being. Let me go to the top. There we go. So at the moment we've got Roberto Sanchez in goal. It's between him and Onana, and to be honest, I'm not convinced about either of them at the moment. Let's be honest, Onana is having a smashing time at the moment. Old popular chap. Then I've got Kieran Trippier in defence against Palace. Yeah, I think he could get a clean sheet, possibly. Then the favourite, Udogi, or Udogi, or however you pronounce his name. If anyone knows, please correct. And then cash bonus, Matty Cash, in just fresh off the toast, a hot transfer that I just made. Then we've got Bukayo Saka, which he's doubtful, but I think I'd rather keep him because my bench is ordered in a way that someone with points will come in if he doesn't feature. Then we've got Diaby. I've got faith in the man. I think he will do well. Plus, they're playing West Ham, so I think they'll score against West Ham. Not sure who will win that game. I think it's a close one, but I think both teams will score in that one. Then we've got James Ward-Prowse. I think not having him is quite silly, to be honest, because of what he does at the moment. Then we've got James Maddison. As much as you don't want to pick Spurs players, I think if you really want to do well in fantasy at the moment, not doing so is a bit foolish because Spurs players are delivering. Now, the only reason I'm complimenting you so much is because you did beat Luton in the last Premier League weekend. That means a lot. I will no longer be that complimentary until you play them again. Then I've got good old Mr. Julian Alvarez for now. Again, I forgot about the South American players travelling back late, so I might do some swapping there. And I've got Nicholas Jackson still up front. You know, he delivered, but whether he will score against Arsenal, I'm not sure. So if I was to take a -4 hit, possibly 4 points, it would probably be swapping him for Watkins because I personally think he's consistent. Okay, he didn't do much against Wolves, but he is a consistent striker, unlike Jackson at the moment, who, you know, scored against Burnley, excellent. But other than that, you have to be mindful. Haaland is captain at the moment. He, you know, if he blanks if a player blanks 3 times in a row, I consider them to go. But I think City might want to bounce back. Brighton do concede for fun. They certainly did against Villa, and they conceded 2 against Liverpool. But I don't know. It just depends. I think that game might not be a smashing for City, but I think they will still win. So, yep, that is the West London Cowboys for now for this week.
Yeah, decent team. I think if you have Saka already, he's worth keeping because, especially for game week 10, like if you haven't, his price has just dropped. Well, yesterday it dropped. So for those who want to buy Bukayo Saka, that's good. He's back down to 8.5. So yeah, with your team, I think I've done alright without picking Spurs players. I'm in the top 3. I've not picked one Spurs player. I think I'm one of the only people, and like I've not actually needed them, and that's why I think that this fantasy season's quite good because there's enough amount of people that are point scoring. Like if you had Salah last time and captained him, you've done well, which I did. So, but yeah, that's a decent team. I think it all depends what the lineups are with the Arsenal Chelsea team as well, because obviously
Going to
Saliba.
quickly pop in there, may I shout out Jonesy, who's been in the chat. He says, "Hope you have a cracking show, guys." So Jonesy, the man behind the thumbnail, by the way. If you're seeing the lovely new thumbnail, that's the man that's made it. Good old Jonesy. Well done, my friend. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, hope you're enjoying the show.
Cheers, big man. So yeah, I think like if you've got, you can still have people can have Son and Maddison and get absolute hauls from it, but then you could still have someone else that does something similar. Like I didn't have Trippier for the Sheffield United game, but I had Botman, so there was only 6-point difference. So, putting the banter out there, that's the only reason Nick's near the top 4 because he had a couple of Newcastle players. But yeah, but
yeah,
I think
definitely. I think Nick had a triple up, didn't he? So he did very well that game week.
I think he got about 60 points just from Newcastle, I think. But yeah, so I think like there are players that are important. Like I think a lot of people are going to come off the song in the next couple of weeks, and that sounds absolutely crazy. Just because the fixtures changed a little bit, and people are going to be going down from Son to probably Maddison because he offers goals, assists, like Matt said. He doesn't. It's not very often he gets the assist points. So yeah, I think who was your captain again, Hubert? Haaland.
Yes, it's Haaland. It's Haaland for now.
And that's like what Matt said. Rodri, different dimension, really. Like that you could see against Arsenal and Wolves. If not saying that the result would have been different, but it probably would have been if he was playing. Kovacic is no Rodri, is he?
No.
Less said
as good as
about
Calvin
Kovacic
Phillips.
Anyway.
That's it. I mean, as good as Calvin Phillips is, when he gets the chance, he's no Rodri either, and they're a different team without him.
Yeah. Cool. So
yeah. I just got one question for Hubert. One it's just kicking off in my head. I'm just wondering, are you concerned with the keepers for Sanchez and Onana? I mean, Man United fixtures are looking decent, I think, next game week or this game week from Sheffield United. So maybe Onana's worth it.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's worth keeping.
Who they don't have is Casemiro. They don't have Casemiro for this game. Now, so far, Casemiro has been carrying United. I do wonder if I see Sheffield United scoring in that one. I know they haven't delivered much, but without Casemiro, United are even worse than they are already. So that's my only concern. I've seen this earlier today that Casemiro might not be there for the United game, so keep that in mind.
He's suspended, isn't he?
Yes, I believe he's suspended or injured, something like that. So either way, he's not there. So
Yeah, I
I
think he
might
picked up an injury playing for Brazil.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't trust anyone else. A defence of Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans. To be fair.
Harry Evans. What's not to love? Harry
Yeah,
Evans in the defence. Come on, the best pairing ever.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I can see why you got Sanchez. Like for Chelsea, he's not done that bad. You'll concede on Saturday, but
I think we'll definitely concede. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. But to be honest,
I hope you do. To
I
be
might
fair,
still
but
swap the duh. I might still swap my keepers. That's still not, my team. That's what my team is
yeah,
at the moment. I might swap my keepers, and when I do, probably Sanchez will get a clean sheet. But we'll see.
I would like to. I've got Matt Turner, so I'm just trying to basically use him as a sponge, get as much out of him as I can, and then I'll probably will change my goalkeeper. I'll keep Ariola, but will probably go in the future. Cool. Do you have any questions, Hubert, for Matt or anything?
No, all good at the moment. Nothing yet in the comments apart from Jonesy, and I've just put a comment also from the channel. Please check him out. Please check out Jonesy's graphics. He's very good. Jonesy, if you can chuck your handle in or your websites or your links, please do. Because as you can see, our thumbnails are looking very nice for all our 3 shows at the moment, 3 regular shows anyway. So yeah, give him a look, give him a check out, please. But yeah, all good to go.
I
Yeah,
did
definitely.
notice it. Yeah, it looks pretty sweet. So yeah, good job, fella.
Yeah, cheers for that, Jonesy. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll move on to the. I need the voice for this, don't I? We need to.
I will create us this a voiceover, and then I can play this.
Yeah. So we've brought back the good old in or bin. So for new people that are watching, and for Matt who's new as well. So each one of us are going to pick someone that we would bring in. It don't necessarily mean you have to that you've brought them in or you're going to, but it's someone who you recommend to bring in. And as the bin segment goes, the kind of pretty obvious, like who you would get rid of. So, from last season, from what I remember, my record was absolutely shocking. I think I said that I would bring at the time. I think I said I would bring Sterling in, and he did nothing. That was last season, and I remember saying I'd get rid of Harry Kane at least for that trick. So hopefully we'll do a bit better this season. So I'll go first, so then you know what it's like to do, Matt. So the person I would bring in would probably be.
James Madison.
So if Madison didn't play for Spurs, I'd love to have Matt. I used to have Madison last season, but he's just gone and ruined it, hasn't he? No. So the person I would probably bring in is Gabriel Martinelli. I just think is a differential. I think only 4% of people have Gabriel Martinelli, which is absolutely crazy from last season.
Wow, is it that low? That's amazing.
Yeah, and I know he's been injured, but he's back now, and I think he's 7.5. So you think that's like $1 million cheaper than Saka as well? And there's no guarantee Saka's on penalties now because they just do it like the FA Cup draw at Arsenal. I think now, like who's going to take the penalty? They even give it to Kai. So, but yeah, the person bin wise, Matt's not going to like this. So
You're not going to do it to me, are you?
bin wise, I've been saying this player's got to go for weeks, but it's got to be in Buemo.
No. Yeah, go on.
He's just done nothing. Me and him have not. We've fallen out. Me and Brian. It's like I had him for absolute weeks, and he did nothing for me. So, and I've been saying to Matt, I went, oh, God, you've not got rid of him yet. Like he'll probably go and do 2 or 3 now, like goals on something this weekend. But I would say him, and it's just come through on my phone now. Also, if anyone's got Andrew Robertson, get rid because he's injured. He's got his arms in a sling, so I don't think he'll be playing this weekend.
He's out for 10 weeks.
Oh yeah. So that quickly moving on to something quickly before we move on. Tsimikas. could be a really, really cheap option at 4.4. That if you wanted to get a Liverpool defender in where their fixtures change and you can't get Trent, that's
Yep.
just something to think of. So yeah, we'll go with you next, Matt.
Definitely, mate. I'm disappointed I didn't remember him. He was going to be my differential. Simicast, top player. Brilliant. He's done well for us. Right, okay. So I've got to go with the big man. Ryan Mbumo. I'd bring him in. Controversial, but I'll bring him in. I think he's going to do well. They've got Burnley this week. They're at home. I think he could score, get an assist, maybe get 2. Yeah, I think Burnley are there for the taking. So I think he'll do well. The fella for the bin, it's got to be Jordan Pickford. I held on to Pickford for so long, and then he had to go, and then I got rid of him. And what happened, mate?
9-pointer.
9-pointer, yeah. And I brought in
That
Alisson.
can happen in Everton players, George. Yet you can't cope having a Spurs player.
Yeah, but there's a big difference. Everton are a small club, aren't they? Like they're not Arsenal, Tottenham. We was having this conversation, funny enough, last week with Matt, and saying like, I don't think Matt's ever going to be in that position to be that worried about Everton. Sorry, any Everton that are watching, but
yeah, no.
You are aware now you said that Everton will probably draw with Liverpool on Saturday.
That don't bother me. Salah's not my captain.
Just say you probably jinxed poor Matt. You probably jinxed the man.
Oh, that's right. Good result for us then.
Yep. We're chasing it.
It's all about the greater good.
Yeah.
Grindelwald's
they're going to get
up.
sticky.
I don't know. Like Everton are a weird side. Like they've been awful most of the season, then they can turn up like they did against Brentford. And,
side Everton.
Yeah, like the sweet. But I will say I think Everton will score on Saturday. That's nothing on Liverpool. I just think Everton will score. And if you are thinking of an Everton asset, I wouldn't look far from Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he's staying fit, he's scoring goals, and he's not actually that expensive. So,
without putting my bias on, I'd go Jack Harrison. I just think he did really well last game week.
There's too many midfielders, mate. That's what I'm running at. If I could play 8 midfielders, I'd be all right. But...
Yeah, too many options. But I can't see it. I can't see Everton scoring. So it's maybe my bias, but I think, clean sheet.
Is that because you've got Alisson in goal?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to get a return. It's got to happen. Yeah. What about you, Hubert? Who's going to be yours?
My in... I've bought in Matty Cash, and I recommend people do the same. Yeah, he may not always keep a clean sheet, but he's been known to provide a cash bonus of an assist or even a goal. So give Matty Cash a go for a few weeks, see how it goes.
He's my boy, Julian Laurent says.
I think that might be that one. Bin, purely I'm saying this because I've binned him because I gave him a chance and then it didn't work. I binned Ruben Diaz, I binned the Man City defender. There's not many clean sheets going, so you'll be lucky to get anyone. And I think Brighton will score against Man City. I think Brighton will score a goal. So I binned Ruben Diaz for me. Obviously bin Andrew Robertson, as said. That's probably goes without saying. Not a massive bin for me at the moment. Just Ruben Diaz. I needed him to give me something, and then he didn't. So there we go. You're fired.
I've said all season, and people have laughed at me. I've said Man City can be got at defensively. I don't think they're as strong.
United scored against them. Let's remember that.
I just don't think they're not as strong as they was. Obviously, watching the Arsenal City game last week, or whenever it was. They're defensively they can be got at. So, I think Man City Brighton will be the game of the weekend. To be honest, I think there's loads of goals going to be there.
In terms of goals, yes, that is probably, and the teams are fairly close to each other. Because Arsenal-Chelsea, although it's a derby, there's a Grand Canyon between both teams at the moment.
See, I don't think that game's as easy as everyone thinks. There's a lot of confident Arsenal fans. I'll talk after the game. It's not, but what I will say is Arsenal's record away from home this season's pretty cool. Like we ain't conceded a goal yet, so Hopefully that continues. I think Newcastle Palace. I don't think that's going to be the battering that everyone thinks. I think that could be like 1 or 2-0. I think Liverpool Everton. I don't think there'll be loads of goals in that. I think it'll be like 2-0, 2-1, something like that. So, but yeah, saying about Matty Cash, he's my boy. Like as Julian Lond was saying, I got Matty Cash at 4.4. Mate, and most of my defensive funds have been built off of Matty Cash, and I think I've had Matty Cash even from last season, and he done all right.
Yeah.
So
What a steal! What a steal!
Matty Cash. So yeah, that is everything for the first show. So thank you to Matt. Hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Before we just wrap it up, I've just got to feel like I've got to justify myself. The Pickford pick. You know, I went with him purely because the rotation with Matt Turner, those were my two keepers. Didn't work out for me at all. As George knows, I was in and R in Pickford or Johnston. Could have gone with Leno. I went with Pickford. Wrong pick.
Yeah.
So
He even made me go for Pickford.
yeah. I was encouraging George. I was sending him messages. Go for Pickford. He looks like the best shout, best option.
But I'm
Wouldn't
more
mind.
impulsive than Matt. 3 weeks before, I was like, "No, you're gone, mate. See you later." I think I put in David Raya before he
It's a
just
3-week
before.
strike for me for players. 3 weeks. If you don't deliver, goodbye.
No, I'm not even that bad. If I don't like you, you're gone.
Yeah, he pulls the trigger. He's harsh.
You can't kick me out because I'm producing Saingo.
Yeah, I think I bought David Raya in just before. I bought David Raya just before he signed for Arsenal, so that was.
Arsenal's new first choice keeper.
Yeah, we've got 2 number ones now, so it's all right.
Oh, don't get me on
Don't-
that one again.
Don't
Come on.
don't
Yep.
start that again. We've had
Yep.
pods on that. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for coming on, Matt. Hope you enjoy it. And
Definitely, mate. Yep.
Hubert, thanks for doing the producing and stuff.
Always around, like a bad smell you can't get rid of.
I thought that was just Spurs, but anyway.
We'll pat the Febreze. Yep.
Fabrice Romano. So yeah, obviously you know where you can follow us on the socials, but you can follow us at Golden Goal. That's on X. We have a Facebook group. We have to watch.
It's at Golden Goal TV on Ask Central.
Yeah. So then we have obviously we have the Facebook group and we have the WhatsApp group. If anyone's interested in that, we will be back with Premier League shows next week.
Hoping Monday preview show is the next, I believe, yes, Monday preview show, review show, sorry. Monday review show, there we go.
Yeah, so we'll have that. And then we'll be back also with the FPL show next week as well. So to all those people playing FPL, I hope you have a good one and good luck and don't do any silly stuff before 11 a.m.
Don't eat yellow snow.
or Captain Madison. Goodbye.